Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a spiritual way shower. I'm a psychic and a medium. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 ways you can improve your life right now. And they're very simple and they cost zero money. Let's get started. All right, here's number one. And please do not underestimate the power of these very simple techniques because I have taught thousands of people. I'm not just some random chick off the internet. I have actually taught tens of thousands of people. My other YouTube channel, Susan Lynn Spirit Navigator, has over 72,000 subscribers. So I've been around the block. I know these things work, but they are simple and they are free. So let's dive right in and go through some of these things. The first thing, and it's so easy, and I just think we tend to overlook easy things because we've been conditioned by society to pay money, to have to work hard, or to make things hard. And if you're like me, that's how I am, right? Like if it's not difficult, I don't think it works and I don't even try it. But I'm here to tell you these are simple, easy, and no cost things. So just try it and tell me if it doesn't work. As I've said in my previous videos, whenever my spirit guides give you this challenge, again, tens of thousands of people, no one, not one of you, has emailed me back and said, Susan, it didn't work. No one. So if you'll take 5 minutes and do these things, I think you will actually reap some pretty big rewards. The first one is very simple. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. I already feel better. One more time. Oh man, I can feel the muscles in my back relax. Oh, now I really want to kind of move my tense, overstressed entire back around and release some of that tension. Now, I'm going to tell you that when you do that, you feel vulnerable. And that's an important thing to understand. That is very important because this is how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned that if we're relaxed, we are vulnerable and we're not battle ready, which actually means that you're living your life like there's always going to be a battle. Like the way to live your life is be tense, because if you're tense, you're ready to respond. So that's something I want you to think about. If you took 3 deep breaths and you became a little more relaxed, but then you felt too vulnerable, this is really an opportunity for you to take pen to paper or get your phone out, your laptop out, your device out, and write down in the notes, why do I not want to feel vulnerable? Who am I not safe around? Now, I'm going to give you a big heads up right now that might be surprising, and that is you might not feel safe around yourself. Wow, that's mind blowing. We're only on number one. But truly, because we have indoctrinated or inculcated or soaked in things that we're not even aware of, our mindset might be grind it out, work harder, do more, be more perfect, give more to that person, prove yourself worthy to that person. Well, guess what? At that point, your physical body, your what, and I'm channeling this, the guides are saying your ephemeral, whatever that means, your ephemeral body, let's just call it your energy, your aura, your soul is like, we can't trust Susan. That girl's crazy, right? That girl's got us over here working 12 hours a day. We're not sleeping. We're not eating right. We cannot trust Susan's brain that's been cooked by, maybe her parentage or her society or whatever it is. But she doesn't want what's best for us. So actually, the person who's not safe is yourself. So that's a big aha moment. Just from number one, just from taking 3 breaths. Okay. This is a lot more I think, juicy or meaty or valuable than you think it is, right? People often just say spiritual people, bunch of woo-woo people. They don't trust me when I say, once you're a warrior and you drop the war part, and you just become so centered in who you are and what you know and what you want, you're much more of a badass than the warrior you thought you were. The real, the real people, the people who are really out there getting it done are the people in the flow of the energy, are the people that know who they are and are centered in that. So if you really want to get it done, if you really want to have the life, if you really want to have the money, whatever it is you want, it's not about chasing what others think it is. It's about getting to know you and trusting you and believing in you and acting on your own best interest instead of taking other people's advice over what your soul, your body, your consciousness, your own guides know to be true. All of that off of 3 breaths. Let's continue. Here's a very good one. Think about a happy memory. Now this is also meaty, because what the guide said was, okay, so right now, think about a happy memory. I'm going to be quiet for just a second. Now, I'm rushing you because this is important, because your subconscious had an opportunity to speak. And that's very important because our brain, as we just talked about, is overactive. So that subconscious said, this is a happy memory. I want you to write that down right now, because again, your subconscious never gets a chance to speak, and that's where your spirit guides communicate to you. So your brain says, yeah, that was happy until this thing happened, and then that thing happened. And then your brain basically goes into that fight or flight mode where it's like, Susan, that wasn't happy. You were actually really sad. This was going on, that was going on. So here's what I want you to do. Write down the happy memory, number 1. Number 2, here is a gauge that you can use to see how stressed out you are. The longer you can continue thinking about that happy memory, the better your health is, the better your subconscious health, your mental health is. So let's say you can think about that happy memory for 15 seconds before you start thinking about whatever else, happened at that time. That's not very, that could be considered 5, 10, 15 seconds. That's not very long. They want you to get to 30 seconds to a minute. So if you can just be in that presence of that little kid or that young person or whatever it was, if you can exercise, we have to work out our muscles, including our psychic muscles, our subconscious muscles. And the spirit guides are saying our happiness muscles. So this is a really good exercise. If you can tap into that memory and just stay there, don't fast forward the movie, just stay in the moment. And you can stay right in that moment, and you can just try to stay in that moment until 30 seconds, 1 minute. It will pay off in huge dividends in how calm you are that day. It will pay off in huge dividends in how more centered, and then you'll make better decisions, and then your life will be better over a simple 30-second exercise, because you're tapping into the dopamine. Look, I'm channeling, I don't know, I'm hopefully this is correct, but this is what they're saying. You're tapping into dopamine, and you're tapping into serotonin, and that's releasing feel good energy. And when you feel good, that tension in your back, in your neck, in your shoulders, in your heart, in your organs can start to have a break, and then your health gets better. These are little tiny things, but like the rock that you throw in that very calm lake, the ripples ripple out for a while, for a long ways out. So these simple things will have a ripple effect throughout your whole life. And if you just, there are 5 things. If you just do these 5 things once a day, your life is going to change. In 30 days, in 5 days, you're going to see a change, maybe even in one day. But if you can do it for a week and then 2 weeks, even if you miss a day, that's okay. You know, it's okay. Copy and print this out and make it the wallpaper on your phone, is what the spirit guides are saying. Every time you pick up your phone, this little list is right there. I'm going to put this list in the description. There's no paywall here. I'm not telling you to join my anything. I'm just giving you this. I'm not selling anything here. I do have classes, I do have things, but this is information for you. Okay. Now, where was I? Happy memory. Great. Number 3, move around. They just said move, period. Because I think, especially Americans, right? We just don't move. Like, we sit at our office, or we sit at our computer, or we sit in our chair at home. Moving is incredibly important, and I'm going to give you a few reasons why. Obviously, it's very important for your physical health, but there's a lot of studies that prove that moving actually helps you forestall or even not experience things like Parkinson's. It helps with memory. So there's so many reasons why moving is important, okay? So if you're a person who's like, gosh, I hope I don't. My dad died of Parkinson's, okay? So I get it, right? Like, I want to not do that. So if you're in your home, whether it's an apartment, whether it's a house, I don't care where you're living, in a cabin, if you're living in a van, I don't care where you are, get up and move. If you can move around your house because the weather's bad or your mobility is bad, get up and stand up and watch this video while standing. The guides are not playing. I tell y'all all the time. Y'all think I argue with them for no reason? They are not playing. They're serious. If you ask their help, they're seriously going to give you help. So stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. If you can't walk outside, you can stand up and sit down 5 times. That will help you so much, because that is the hardest thing to keep as you get older. Okay. If you can, promise yourself, again, who's the most thing that's unsafe? Sometimes our own selves. So when I say promise yourself, we already have we already have a problem, because you've made promises to yourself and maybe you've broken them. So that's something else to work on, to feel safe with yourself. It's vitally important. Promise yourself that you'll do something, that you'll get up and walk around your house, the inside of your house. Promise yourself you will go outside and walk 3 times a week, and honor the promise. Get to where you can trust yourself, because when you respect and trust yourself, you know better who externally to trust and not trust. If you're not trusting yourself, I promise you, people around you are not trustworthy. That is a big one right there. Number 3, we're talking about moving, and they already told you how you're not trusting yourself. Therefore, you're surrounded by untrustworthy people. And that's all because you've broken a promise to yourself. And that's all because they simply said, get up and walk. Okay? Number 4, challenge yourself to take new action. This is a big one, you guys. This is a big one, because we get stuck in a rut. And when we get in a rut, it's hard to get ourselves out of it. And I'm a visual person. I don't know if you are, but I think all of us have seen like a ditch, and then sometimes the ditch is really deep, and sometimes you think, oh, I don't want to, on this icy road, go into that ditch, or oh, on this rainy foggy road, I don't want to go into the ditch because I'm not going to be able to get myself out. We've all thought that. We've all been near some kind of deep thing, a gorge. We've been on a mountain. We've been near some hazard. And we've thought, I don't want to fall in there because I can't get myself out. My friends, that is a rut. A rut is you've been walking the same direction. You've been in the same job. You've been in the same relationship. You've been eating the same bad foods. You've been breaking the same promises to yourself. And every time you do it, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then sometimes the rut is so deep, you can't even see over the top of it. And that is when you often experience depression or just extreme sadness. And that goes back to, I don't know how I got here. How did I do this to myself? How did this other person do it to me? Those are maybe valid questions, but we have to sometimes move into action. Action will, mood follows action. This is something that I don't think enough of us know. We often say, I'm going to wait till I feel better. And when I feel better, I'm going to get my art supplies out. I'm going to wait till I feel better. And when I feel better, I'm going to take the dog for a walk. I'm going to wait till I feel better. And when I feel better, I'm going to go out there and garden. You're waiting forever. Meanwhile, the rut is deeper. So you have to take action. Hence, the last one, number 3, was move. Take action. So they've already got you taking action. The next one is challenge yourself to take new action. So here's some things that they said. Read a book. Read a book. Take a long bath or shower. Make yourself some comfort food that you won't feel guilty about. Now, I did this yesterday because I'm a person who food is a comfort for me. Some of you that follow me for a long time know that I have kind of what the guides, I mean, this is their opinion. They're worthy. They can have their opinion. My spirit guides think I'm addicted to cheese. I think there are worse things to be addicted to, but they think that this is a problem. Okay, so I'm not admitting I have a problem yet. But anyway, no, and I when I say that I did this recently, I'm saying that I really cannot eat fast food because it just puts weight on me instantly. If I can just simply avoid any kind of fast food and including the drinks and all the things that go with that, I'm already doing a big deal, right? Yesterday, I was stressed out. I was running around. I said, I'm going to get fast food as comfort food. And I felt guilty about it because it wasn't nutritious. I could have had cheese and it would have been more nutritious, right? So we don't want to do anything that's going to make you feel guilty because that adds to the rut. Okay, so have comfort food that feels nourishing but comfort. So for me, like, look, I'm keeping it real here, right? I might have cheese on my broccoli, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally, right? So for me, that is something I don't feel guilty about. I don't know what that is for you. But if you're going to have comfort food and for you, you think that is XYZ food, but then it throws you into a self-critical attack, it's not worth it. So don't eat comfort food that makes you feel bad. Eat comfort food that your grandmother would feed you or that just makes you feel cared for. Like, for instance, when you have a cold, you might have chicken soup or you might have broth. You know what this is. The guides are saying it's in your memory, it's in your energetic memory. They're saying another word, but I don't know. It's really in the tissues of your body. Your body carries memories. That's the comfort food. I want you to go to that comfort food. And even if you have to go get it at a restaurant, if you have the money, that's okay because it's about connecting back to the I am safe as a child. What was that favorite meal you had as a child? I don't care who made it. I don't care where it came from. If you don't feel guilty about it, I don't care if it's fried chicken. I don't care what it is. If you don't feel guilty about it, go have that because it's connecting you back to being safe. And that's important. Okay. Now, here's the next part of that, number 4. That's where they're going to step it up a level, okay? Because you know they are. You already know they are. Being uncomfortable is really part of growing. And when you're in a rut, you're avoiding being uncomfortable. Let's take a moment and think about that. The reason you're in a rut is because you don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to be challenged. You're exhausted. You're tired. Or you're just over it. So you're basically complying to things that you don't want to do because you don't want to address them. You don't want to confront them. This goes all the way back to who's unsafe. Maybe it's you because you don't want to confront the bully in your life. You don't want to confront your own self and really look at yourself and say, wow, Susan, you've really gotten out of shape. Or wow, Susan, you're not happy in this relationship. Or wow, this job is actually killing me. Why am I doing this? Because when we address these things, we feel like there's no answer, or we feel like the answer costs too much. For instance, I can't leave my relationship because, finances or the kids or whatever. But here's what can happen. We're not talking right now in these 5 simple things. We're not talking about divorce. We're not talking about quitting your job. We're not talking about that. We're talking about tiny little steps, the pebble in the pond, in the glassy, smooth pond. Drop that first pebble, and it'll start to change everything in your life. So, what I want you to do is bring your consciousness back to something simple, which is start that hobby again. Pick up that art. Pick up writing again. Pick up making puzzles. Pick up taking walks. Join, and those are all free. I mean, basically, you could probably find some of these things for free. You can get online apps for free. You've got to watch, the commercials, but basically the app would be free where you just do a puzzle. Because what's happening is when you're not in fight or flight, when you're not thinking or overthinking or worrying, your brain is taking a break, and then your spirit guides can communicate to you through your subconscious. So, washing the car, doing the dishes, working a puzzle, gardening, taking a walk, those are all things that your brain is like, well, she doesn't need me for this. And then guess what? You can daydream. And when you're daydreaming, then spirit can come through with advice and guidance, right? But being uncomfortable takes it one step further because instead of staying at home and doing that puzzle or reading that book, these are all things I want you to start with. But the next step is getting out of your house or getting online. Join an online community. Find an interest that you have and join the online community. Yes, you can be a lurker. You want to know what? No one believes me, but I am an introvert. I am a really big introvert. When I have to, be around a lot of people, I literally have to lay on the couch, which blows my mind because in every other area of my life, I'm kind of a doer and I'm very, active. So I get it. So even if you join an online group and you're just a lurker and you're not participating, that's a step. I want you to feel uncomfortable sometimes because uncomfortable is what's going to get you out of the rut. It's comfortable in your rut, isn't it? It's uncomfortable when you climb to the top and you look around and things are not familiar. You got to do things that you're not aware of or not sure of or not familiar with. Then comes a really critical time. And I would also suggest that if you have the wherewithal, therapy can be well worth the money, because when you climb out of that rut, there's really a time when you think maybe it's better to stay in the rut than to be uncomfortable, because it's such a big jump. It's such a big divide. So what I want you to do is baby steps. Baby steps. Join the online community and lurk. You don't have to climb out of this rut into the blinding sunlight of an environment you don't even recognize. You don't have to throw yourself into that kind of change. You can do this step by step by step. At any time, you can go back to number 1 and take 3 deep breaths. Okay? But do some things that make you slightly uncomfortable. Join a trivia group. Go down and join a gardener's group. Go down and enjoy, or actually donate, what is the word? Volunteer at some agency, like for homeless pets, the animal shelter. Volunteer to pick up trash around your neighborhood just because you want to, not because you're rah, 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 just because it's zen. It makes you feel better. You're not expecting anything. You're just walking around with a bag, picking up trash. That's all you're doing. It gets you out of the house. It gets you into this not no mind where your mind isn't thinking, and it gets you moving, and it gets you doing something you're proud of. And it's free. This is brilliant. This is not doing some huge thing. They're little things. Do little things. But feeling uncomfortable a little bit is growth. So try to make yourself do things that feel a little uncomfortable, even if it means something like driving to the store a different route. I say this all the time in my videos, because when you're trying to change your life, the thing you want to do is start changing small things in your life. Move things around. Move a lamp. Move a table. It changes the energy in your house. Take this picture and put it over there. Drive a different route. Walk a different route. I promise you it'll scramble your brain. If you drive a different route to a thing that you always go to, the store, the bank, whatever, you'll be like, am I lost? Because you're going to see things that you always saw from this direction. You always saw the same house from one direction. Just simply see that house from another direction, and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't ever notice that it was this color. I didn't ever notice these plants. That is waking up the neurons in your brain to see things differently. And that can be replicated. Just simply seeing something from a physically different direction will wake everything up and replicate that throughout your whole life. Okay, the last thing, and this is a big one. I did talk about it in my last video. I'm pretty sure they're telling me I did. So if you're new here, watch the last video. Just click on my logo. You'll go to my main YouTube channel and watch some of those videos. They're all here to help you. And you don't have to pay anything. This is all free. Okay, number 5, last one. It's a big one, but it's so easy, kind of. Be your own cheerleader. So now we've told you a whole lot of things to do. And you can say, well, I'm going to grade myself on whether I'm doing them. That would be the wrong thing to do. Instead, you're going to cheer yourself. Wow, I was able to hold on to that happy memory, and I timed myself, and it was only 10 seconds. That's surprising to me. So instead of saying, God, Susan, you're really messed up, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, that is surprising to me, huh? There's some work I can do here. You know what? I can expand this. I'm excited to see if I can make this last 15 seconds. Let me see if I can do it. Very different energy than, gosh, Susan, wow, you're never going to do it. You're never going to get out of this rut. You're just going to have to give up. What is the difference between those two energies? One, I'm cheerleading myself. I'm encouraging myself. The other one, I've given up. Which one is going to get you out of the rut? Giving up or encouraging yourself? So cheer yourself on. Again, it's back to number one, where who's safe? Are you safe with yourself? One way you can start to be more safe with yourself is to cheer yourself, is to say, okay, I'm not going to judge my past actions. I'm going to start right now, today, and I'm going to say, today, I'm going to be happy for the happy things that happen. I'm just going to live in the moment, and I'm going to try to see the good in things. I'm going to try to not argue with my spirit guides. That is something, unfortunately, I'm famous for. So I'm in the middle of moving. I haven't moved yet, but things are swirling around, very chaotic in my life. And I have this suitcase I've been trying to throw it out. It's not old. It's just I don't like the color. Let's just face it. So again, I'm not going to give myself a hard time, right? I'm not going to say, Susan, you bought the wrong suitcase and now you don't like the color and now you've wasted money. No, that's not me. I'm like, you know what? I bought it for a reason and now I don't need it and I'm going to donate it. Okay, so that's the new Susan. I'm walking the walk. I'm talking the talk, except for I've had this suitcase out to donate 2 different times. And each time, because I've worked my muscles on hearing my spirit guides, this is not just something that somebody waves a magic wand and you get to do. You've got to do your part, right? I got the impression it might not be a good idea to get rid of this suitcase. Now, the first time I was like, really? I mean, come on. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, why can't I just get rid of this suitcase? It's like, it just bugs me. It bugs me. I put it back in the closet. I'm like, fine. I'm sure I'll understand why, right? Like this is what I've learned. What I've learned is when I get a gut feeling not to do something, I just pause. I just don't make that decision at this moment and I wait for more guidance or I wait for things to happen to show me what I need to know. Whether I feel like it's guidance or whether it's 3D brain, whatever. So the second time, I just pulled it out a few days ago. I'm like, listen, when you're moving, things got to go. Like I can't be holding on to stuff. I've got to get light. I want to feel lighter. I want to let go of material possessions. Okay. That's where I'm at right now. So guess what? The first thing I want to let go is something that I already wanted to let go of that feels like some kind of, I don't know, just I want to get rid of it. So I pull it out again. They're like, you're really going to need that suitcase. I'm like, take a deep breath, take 3 deep breaths and walk away. Guess what, you guys? That darn suitcase is full of my clothes right now. I needed that suitcase. So, we have to be open. We have to be uncomfortable and we have to be open to things and just take that pause and not be critical. Because now I'm like, wow, thank you. I'm actually really glad that I kept that suitcase because it's not about the color. It's about the fact that I needed something to put these clothes in because my other 2 suitcases are full. So, guess what? I really needed that suitcase. Now, would it have been the end of the world had I given it away? No. Would I, and because I've done this, I've actually done this where I've given things away and then later been like, oh, I needed that. But I've trained myself to not get on to myself, to not say, Susan, you shouldn't have done it. You're always giving things away when you should keep them. I don't do that anymore. I used to. I used to do that. I do not. Now I say, oh, that's really interesting because it turns out I needed that thing. And instead, what I've done is I've started to realize, I've started to say, I wonder why I give away things that I end up needing. I wonder why that is. So guess what? I'm being open. I'm open and receptive because critical is not open and receptive. You're not learning anything. And if you want help, you can't get help if you're being critical. So guess what I learned? And this is what I'll leave you with this video because I think this is fascinating. What I learned is, and it's taken me a while, like I want you to also understand, when I say I learned it, I still kept doing it because even though I learned it in my head, I didn't fully integrate the message. I only kind of half learned it, let's just say. What I learned is that when things appear in front of me, it means that my spirit guides are saying, you're going to need this. Okay. But what I didn't know is that when things appeared in front of me, my brain said, why do I still have that? I don't need that. I don't need this. Like, why do I still have this? So I would take that item and donate it. But in reality, what was happening was my spirit guides were like, you're going to need this. Here it is. I could have that thing in my closet for 2 years and never see it, never know it's there, never remember it. For some reason, it comes into my conscious, it literally physically comes into my view. I pick up something and there it is. And I'm like, I still have that thing? How, why do I have that? Okay, I'm just going to get rid of it. But I finally realized it was my spirit guide saying, no, honey, you're going to need this. So even though I knew that, like knew it in my head, I didn't integrate it and I still kept doing it. I still kept seeing things and donating it. And then later realizing, oh, right, Susan, right. Remember, the spirit guides are showing you things that you need so that you put them aside and you save them, or could even be a heads up. Oh, you're going to need this backpack. Why are you going to need this backpack? Oh, that's a clue about what's going on in your future that you don't know yet. So it's taken me kind of cycles of doing this to have the message or the lesson integrated into my whole consciousness. So be gentle with yourself because humans experience just a blizzard of data and information and feelings and energy and resources and demands. We're not simple creatures that live in some sterile environment where when they get a message, it like completely, plugs in, downloads, and the program runs. That's not what happens. We get the message, it bounces off because we're in fight or flight, because we didn't do the 3 breaths, because we didn't take care of ourselves, because we don't trust, because we're in a rut, whatever the reasons, there's lots of them. That's okay. That's okay. We're human. This is a crazy place, Earth. Then sometimes the message comes in like it did for me, and the light bulb went off. And I was like, oh my God, now I get it. Except for the light bulb went dark again, and the whole process had to happen again, and the light bulb went off. And I was like, oh, right, I already know this. This is the second time I've given something away. And then the light bulb went off. That's okay. Give yourself grace. We have to learn things through a series of kind of opportunities. I mean, you could call them challenges, you could call them lessons, but the guides call them opportunities. We don't learn how to tie our shoes the very first time. We don't learn how to drive a car the very first time. We don't learn how to cook for ourselves with one meal. We have to experience different ways of cooking, different ways of moving our body. You don't know yoga until you do it. You don't know things until you're uncomfortable in that learning stage, in that open stage, in that receiving stage, which is the opposite of self-criticism or the opposite of I know everything. That's another way to protect yourself. I already know, I already know, I already know. What if you said, I think I know? I think I know, but what else is there to know? Let me look at it from a different angle. The spirit guides are often saying, look at everything you can from 360 degrees. So, a way to do that is to say, I have this issue. I'm trying to make a decision. For fun, what would your friend Paul say about it? Just what do you think he would say about this decision? For fun, what do you think your friend Alyssa would say about this situation? For fun, what would your spouse say about this situation? For fun, what would the 20-year-old version of you say about this situation? Now, that might be confusing to you. You're like, Susan, I just need an answer. But if you'll consider all these options, you'll have a better answer. You'll have a more aware answer, a more complete answer, especially if you'll go back and talk to the version of you that's 15 years ago. Because 15 years ago, maybe you were more risk taker instead of risk averse. It doesn't mean you have to do what any of these, you're not giving away your power. That's not the point here. The point is you're actually learning more about the potential answers that are outside of your maybe rut. And that is going to give you a much different opportunity and perhaps make you uncomfortable and challenge you to go for a bigger, brighter, higher elevated solution. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate you. I really, truly appreciate you. You are helping me on my own soul path. And that I am so grateful for. Take really good care of yourself, okay? Now, that's at the end of the video. I will tell you 3 things. I have online classes. I have one coming up on the power of your soul. It's $37. You can learn more about it down below in the description or on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. I am teaching it with my dear friend, an amazing spiritual teacher, Afefe Tahimba, who has Touched by Tarot on YouTube. It is a popular class. We are a popular duo. We teach really well together, and our classes are very successful. I hope you join us for the power of your soul. Now, 2 other quick things. I have online communities. This was also part of my soul path. One is completely free. Again, free. You can't get better than free. It's called the Lighthouse Keepers Crew because lighthouses guide people from the stormy seas into the safe harbor. It is free. You can find it on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. It is not on Facebook. It is not on Meta. It is not on Google. It is not on YouTube. It is completely a private platform where you can be safe and find people just like you to help you on your spiritual journey, and hopefully you assist them on theirs. Now, the other community I have is a paid community. It's $12 a month. Cancel, join anytime you want. There's over 1,100 people there. I am there twice a month doing readings and leading my special group called Soul Growth Sunday. So that's twice a month that I'm there with you. Both of these groups are on the same platform, which is called Mighty Networks, which is woman owned. And it basically looks like any social media platform. You can post You can share. It's yours. You can do whatever you want. On the premium, on the paid platform, I also have guest speakers that come and present on their area of expertise: numerology, the Kabbalah, tarot, oracle, healing, psychic, mediumship, you name it. All of those videos are there for you to watch as well. So you also have access to an entire private video library of mini classes. So there's even more. I can't think of whatever it is to tell you. I want you to take really good care of yourself, okay? Let's all raise our vibrations. Let's climb out of our ruts. Let's love ourselves, because that's going to lift everybody else up as well. The high tide lifts all boats. Okay. I'll see you again really soon, right back here. Thank you so much. I'm Susan Lynn, Spiritual Way Shower, but also Susan Lynn, Spirit Navigator is my other channel. My website is susanlynnmedium.com. Take good care. I'll see you soon.